As we all know, is life. And the government of the Gambia, to His Excellency, has the emphasis to ensuring that the populace enjoy a very healthy clean water in the Gambia.
The head of the Dominion Mission, the Gambia, outlines the aim of the scheme, which he says aimed at addressing the constraints faced by the local communities.
We found out that a lot of people here, they trek a lot to get adequate drinking water, so we felt that if this water is existing here, it will address human need. It's not about whether you're a Muslim or a Christian, it's about humanity. It's about being a blessing to humanity, and I believe that when you begin to enjoy the blessings of God, serving God becomes easier.
We're just going by the mandate of Christ to reach out to the people and bless them and also meet their need. Hopefully that will propel them to a higher level, to empower them to do things.
These two organizations are also rendering free medical care to the people of Sifo village, with plans to build skill centers across the country to help youths acquire valuable skills training. Umijai, Grts.
Participants from across the continent are in Banjul for a day forum on the participation of non-governmental organizations in the 54th Ordinary Session of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. Louis Mendy was at the opening ceremony and he now reports.
Over 50 human rights defenders from within the African continent are in Banjul discussing the current human rights situation on the continent and simultaneously celebrating the 10th anniversary of the AU Protocol on the Rights of Women, citing its achievements and the way forward. The caption for the three-day participatory event reads, "The Forum on the Participation of Non-Governmental Organizations in the 54th Ordinary Session of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights and the 28th African Human Rights Book Fair."
While concerned by the coup d'etat and continuing unrest in parts of Mali, we are encouraged by the peaceful conduct of elections in that fragile state. There has also been disturbing news of unrest in Nigeria, of fresh attacks of the Boko Haram sect continues to bring terror and misery to its citizens. The rude shock which accompanied the news of the Westgate shootings are still fresh in our minds, and we cannot but ask, what next?
The forum is seen as a perfect platform for African Center for Democracy and Human Rights Studies, the NGO group, the African Commission for Human Rights and stakeholders to address challenges, exchange views and explore practical approaches and experiences with the ultimate aim of fostering cooperation among and between NGOs, the African Commission, states and other stakeholders in the promotion and protection of human rights in Africa.
Your presence here no doubt underscores your determination to continue to advance Africa's human rights agenda.
NGOs are credited for playing a key role in advancing human rights agenda on the continent, a milestone depicting the importance of this forum and avenue for greater cooperation for the cause of humanity.
Some of the thematic issues that will be discussed will include prisons and conditions of detention in Africa, human rights defenders in Africa, freedom of expression and access to information, prevention of torture, death penalty, and arbitrary killings.
Hamas Salah from the Department of Political Affairs African Union said this institution supports the goal of the NGO Forum as it centers on efforts in building a continent free from human rights violations by establishing mechanisms that guarantee international justice and the long-term goal of ensuring sustainable peace on the continent.
Africa, as peaceful as we can, as prosperous as we can, as united as we can. This is the dream of not the heads of state and government, but this is the dream of the African people. This is your dream, it is my dream, it is our children's dream. And nobody, no one can take this dream away from us. And the dream must come real and must become a reality one day. But who can make that dream a reality? It is you and me.
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice Mama Fatima Singate described the forum as a strategic meeting point as it creates the possibility of engaging all pertinent stakeholders in issues affecting their constituents, thereby encouraging understanding and support among stakeholders within the community.
Over the years, we have witnessed a rise in the number of NGOs within the African continent, which undoubtedly is as a result of the increase in pluralism and democracy within African states. It is therefore pertinent that respective governments and NGOs within the continent work closely together to enforce the human rights principles enshrined in the Charter.
Recommendations and resolutions emanating from this session will be forwarded to the African Commission for consideration during the 54th Ordinary Session, scheduled to commence after this forum, also in Banjul. Meanwhile, this drama staged by the Youth Alliance Group is calling for African unity as well as the promotion of human and people's rights for the purpose of African development. A vivid summary of what this NGO forum is working towards achieving. Louis Mendy, Grts.
Still on the local stories, the trade in beads is common among the Laubers, and they have been involved in the business for centuries. And despite the changing times and with significant influences of other cultures, beads still remain useful items in some households in the country. Aura Hibite went out to one of the busiest markets where she met some traditional bead sellers. She now reports.
Their trade might be very significant as many still believed in the power of some of these traditional products. The people involved in the trading of these traditional beads and other elements are commonly known as Laubers. These people are said to be from the family of Burgewil. They can be found in several markets within the country, but their line of trade still remains the same. That raises the question why they are engaged in this trade.
The reason why we sell these is because it's our culture. Our grand and great-grandparents all engaged in this trade. We are the family of Burgewil. Selling beads and these traditional elements is what we know. That is where we provide all our needs. Anything we have is from this.
These products are believed to have come from Mali, but continue to resonate well in Laube tradition as they immensely benefit from the trade. The products, as explained by one of the traders, Buso Seka, are sometimes sold to tourists who are interested in African culture, but according to their business, have hit hard times.
Beads like peme is considered medicine traditionally. Cowries shells are also very good in some ways, and other beads are also bought for their relevance in several areas.
Wow.
These beads for children, called Bodwache in Wolof, is generally meant for children in their infancies. These small ones, called Peme, legend has it helped children in the process of developing teeth. These and many others could be the main reason why many still purchase them.
This is why we focus on this trade. Shea butter, for example, is our tradition and culture. It comes from trees all the way from Mali. Shea butter is good for newly born babies and newly delivered women. It is also good for the young and the old. Besides, some of our products are very good. It helps women make their houses nice.
These women engaged in this trade are calling for young people to help enrich the tradition and safeguard the values of this norm so as to preserve it. Whether these traditional products remain valuable or not, these traders are still hopeful that the trade in beads will expand and the process help promote their culture. Rohi Bite, Grts News.
And to the news outside the Gambia now, U.S. politicians might have prevented the world's biggest economy from defaulting on its huge debt. But nerves are still jangling in the streets of America. We will tell you why after this break. Welcome back. Investigations into last month's mall rampage in Kenya are